Willa Mae was a Afro-American female daughter of a sharecropper. She loved dancing, and she danced in the cotton fields of Georgia right straight to stardom and became America's #1 sweetheart in 1939. The first unfortunate incident in Willa Mae's life was when her own brothers tried to set her up. They literally bargained with this unknown source to pull her into the fields, the cotton fields, and there was an actual attempt to rape her. She was fortunate enough to fight her offenders off and to get herself out of that situation quickly enough so that she wouldn't be raped. The elderly sisters decided to take Willa Mae north to Cincinnati, Ohio. My mother loved to dance. She got her a job working at the RKO Theater. And she was working as what you call an usher. One day she decided to put on her own show, where she started dancing in the middle aisles of the RKO theaters, and people went wild. They were ecstatic at looking at what she was doing and what she was saying and how she was singing. She continued these shows until a gentleman by the name of Watts, Mr. Watts from the Watts and Rango band and the Watts and Rango dance group, came to her one day at the theater, asked her to come and dance for the Watts and Rango dancers. So she started, while working in the theater, while going to school, at the ripe old age of 13 years old, she became a professional with the Watts and Rango dancers. The news began to spread. Who is this young lady that's on this stage, is kicking so high and can lead the chorus girls? She became one of the #1 dance entertainment out front chorus girls. Later on, she started with a couple of the major bands, the Willie Bryant Band, the Tommy Dorsey Band, Lionel Hampton Band, Gene Krupa Band. Oh, there was so many different bands like Lionel Hampton, who was rated the fastest drummer in the world. She danced with them. And in the process of her dancing, the movie buffs came around, Cecil B. DeMille. They looked at her and they put her in the very first picture that she did was an American classic with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Al Jolson. She was a evolutionary, not a revolutionary, but the evolutionary of involving the stereotype pictures that Amos and Nancy casting into Afro-American imagery, who projected a different type of picture, such as the picture that she made in 1939 that had the very first hit picture that had nothing to do with the plantation mentality.
Run away from me, mister?
Why would I run away from you? Oh, I would run away from dead folk.
Was that why you was running away?
Ain't y'all scared of dead folk?
No, of course not. Plenty selfies around here. We're never scared.
Plenty who around here?
Selfies.
Yep.
Dead people. Spirits.
Yeah?
Helen, boy, what's your name?
Why, my name is Percy Jackson. How'd you know I was from Harlem?
I can tell by those sharp clothes you're wearing that you're from Harlem.
This picture is over 80 to 90 years old. Fortunately and happily, my mother was part of the ushering of the dawn-breaking of new black movie productions. There's an old saying in the United States, the adage is that in order to become a star, you got to be with the stars. You got to do what the stars do. And because of all of the association from the different stars, such as the Ella Fitzgeralds, who was just coming up at that time, the Dinah Washingtons, Josephine Bakers, Lena Hornes, Jenny Lagans, all of the different artists that were starting to become the dawn breakers and the pioneers for black movie entertainment in this particular country. She was associated with them all. But one of the biggest parts of this story is that Louis Armstrong and my mother, it's a little hard for me to say it, but they were very close. I do have love letters on tap from her and Louis Armstrong. We follow her career as when she was working nightclubs. She was a very big nightclub entertainer. She worked the Cotton Club in Harlem. She worked Ann Montgomery's in Buffalo. She worked Howard Theaters, the Apollo Theaters. She was known all throughout this great United States for entertainment. Unfortunately, she ran into a horrific incident. One day at Ann Montgomery's, she was having problems with the lights in her dressing room, at which she says, I'm going to the store and I'm going to buy a couple of bulbs for the lights in my dressing room, at which she had spoke to the manager at the club. Willa Mae stepped out of the club. She went to the store. My mother loved kids. And in the process, there were some kids that asked her for some money while she was walking back from the store. And this is where I call the devil. There was a woman who was stalking her. This woman literally walked up behind my mother while she was basically having a nice time, playing with the kids, on her way back to her dressing room. Bam! Hit her upside the head, right here on the right side of her head, with a bottle of lye. No Coca-Cola, lye, straight lye. And when it hit her and busted her face open, it took maybe 13 stitches across her face and had opened up the entire side of her head. And the lye was in her head, and she screamed. She was retching with pain. I got to stop. Because when I start talking, I start thinking about her, man. You have to forgive me. I get a little whacked up in here sometimes. There's a lot of stories that's been told, but when you listen, look, and read about this story, it's not just a story, it's an inspiration. It's an inspiration to young people. It's an inspiration to Afro-American people. It's an inspiration to all people. It's the will and the guts and the intestinal fortitude to be what you want to be. That's what America's about.